Hello everyone, Tom with Capo Fetish. Today on the channel, we're going to talk about overindulgent, mind-numbing rock jams. There are plenty out there. So I had to really actually dig quite deep because I don't have a lot of rock jam albums. I'm not really into jam bands per se. I love the Allman Brothers and a few others, but I'm not really a big, rock jam guy. But anyway, I pulled out a handful here, a handful of jams that I consider are very overindulgent, mind-numbing, and that needle needs to get off the player like that. So here we go. I'm going to start off here with a song. If you could sit through this entire side, then you are a champ. And I'm talking about the track, Don't Worry, Kyoko. Mommy is only looking for her hand in the snow, paired with John, Let's Hope for Peace. Of course, I'm talking about that sidelong track on Live in Toronto, Live Peace in Toronto from John Lennon and Yoko Ono. So just recently I watched a documentary on this, really, really interesting. Talks about not just John and Yoko's performance, but talks about all the other people that were on the bill, like Little Richard and a lot of these 50s acts, which is really cool. So anyway, so this is one of those tracks. I think it's even on the Yoko Ono Plastic Ono Band album, I believe. I don't own that portion of the Plastic Ono Band, but anyway, this is one of those tracks. It's experimental track. Yoko's cackling and howling for, just about the entire side. A lot of feedback. The amazing thing is Eric Clapton went along with this, You got Klaus Vormann on bass, too. He's the guy responsible for the Revolver cover. Illustrating the Revolver cover, we got Alan White on drums, who would later join Yes. Great session player. And we got Yoko Ono and John Lennon. But man, this is a tough slog to get through. I think it's more humorous when you see it on video and seeing them in action rather than the audio. Hearing the audio is just pure torture. I mean, if you locked me up, in solitary confinement with this, I would confess all my sins within minutes, maybe seconds. So anyway, an example of an overindulgent, mind-numbing jam. Don't Worry, Kyoko. Mama's only looking for her hand in the snow, paired with John, Let's Hope for Peace. 1969. This is the first official Plastic Ono Band album here. Before the studio one came out, this is the first thing they released. Besides the wedding album, what else? Unfinished Music and Life with the Lions and all that stuff. So, how about this? This one to me is more better on video, just for the humor and just for the rock posing and everything. Led Zeppelin's 26-minute sidelong version of Dazed and Confused. Song remains the same. This was released in 1976. A movie that was always played at midnight down the street from where I lived. And 26 minutes plus of Dazed and Confused. At this point, Robert Plant's voice, he's lost that high register voice. It's no longer there. So he's grasping for notes. And he's pretty much dialing in this. He's pretty much phoning in this particular performance, adding a lot of vocal histrionics, like push, and 25. What if that's what he's saying? I've always wondered what he is saying. But then it goes into San Francisco, be sure to wear flowers in your hair. They go into a little of that afterwards. Then they go into a tangent, then do another tangent, and then the gong at the end, and wow, this is really something else to sit through for 26 minutes. At least with the video, you get to see some of that kind of fantasy imagery interspersed with the music, along with the performance and the violin bow and the whole thing. But man, the audio of this is a tough slog. Dazed and Confused from Song Remains the Same, 26 minutes long, doesn't really go anywhere. How about 33 minutes of an entire CD of My Generation by The Who? This is The Who, live at the Fillmore East in 1968. I was very excited to pick this up when it came out. First CD is fantastic. Summertime Blues, Fortune Teller, Tattoo, Little Billy, a real rare live a version of that, Little Billy. I Can't Explain, Happy Jack, Relax from The Who Sellout, I'm a Boy, a quick one, While He's Away, which they were playing a lot around this period. A couple of covers, My Way, Come On Everybody, Shakin' All Over, ends with Boris the Spider, but 33 minutes of My Generation on the second disc. Talk about a jam that goes nowhere. And I love this period of The Who, too. I love the 67, 68 period, but they were just milking it, man, just milking it for all it was worth. Starts off promising, but it just goes into just noise for about 33 minutes and 2 seconds. So another example right here. First disc I love. Second disc, hard to get through 33 minutes of anything, really. My generation. Another one, too, is always perplexed me is this soundtrack for a movie. I don't know what you'd even call it. Kind of a fantasy movie, kind of a biographical film. Neil Young's Journey Through the Past. And has some songs, you know, some interspersed with like Buffalo Springfield songs. And then you get Neil Young walking around a record store and finding a bootleg of his. And it's all very Neil Youngish, you know, I mean, very, very dreamy kind of imagery going on. But while I pulled this album out is because of the sidelong version of the song Words, right here, which was initially on Harvest. And I like the original version, which is like, comes in around 4 or 5 minutes, maybe. This is a long version. And very uninspired playing by Neil. He's just kind of like throwing off just these little, just nothing licks. He's just kind of plucking. So I don't know why they would even release this, especially on this soundtrack album. I know maybe a little bit it's played during the film, but this is a long, long version of Words. I don't know where it clocks in, but it's a full side, maybe 14 minutes, I believe. I'm not sure, but very, very hard to get through. It's one of those songs. It's not like Down by the River or Cowgirl in the Sand, where there's like a really strong melody to like hold the thing together, you know, between the jams. This is just like, this is a difficult one for me, folks. Words off the Journey Through the Past film from Neil Young. And there's a lot of Neil Young songs that are hard to get through. There's one called Walk Like a Giant, I believe, on the Psychedelic Pill. That is like 26 minutes, and that is a slog to get through as well. I mean, just wow. Next one. Never really been a fan of drum solos unless it's maybe jazz. But rock drum solos don't really do a whole lot for me. And I think I've only made it through the live version of Toad on Wheels of Fire maybe twice. And yeah, that's another. I mean, Cream at this point. I really like Cream more the studio stuff. I really do. Like, I love Disraeli Gears, and I love their like their psychedelic period there, like this and that album. But some of the live stuff, man, tends to go on a little over long. And I think that's partly the reason why Eric Clapton left. He wanted to get more back to basics, kind of like what the band were doing. Not a lot of the showcasing and such. But yeah, Toad for me is another one, folks. That is really hard to get through. I can get through the studio version on Fresh Cream, but this live version, pretty tough. Another one, too. Not a bad song, but it goes on way too long. It could have been made into a great 4-minute track, maybe, is Creedence Clearwater Revival. Their version of I Heard It Through the Grapevine, which clocks in at 11:05. And the thing, too, about it is that it's placed in a weird section of the album. It's the song before the last track. So it's like track 4 out of track 5. So you get like Up Around the Bend, starts off great. My Baby Left Me next, and then Who'll Stop the Rain, and then I Heard It Through the Grapevine. 11 minutes, and then it goes into Long As I Can See the Light. I've never liked the jamming on this particular track. I just think it just goes on and on and on with not a lot of purpose. And I love a lot of John Fogerty's solos. I think they're really like just perfectly thought out and melodic. And but this particular one, for me, has always been a slog to get through. I Heard It Through the Grapevine. Love the track, but it's just a little, about 8 minutes too long for my liking. Another one is, I've mentioned it before, I'll mention it again. I think this is one of the greatest sides of any album in the 60s. Loves to Capo or to Capo, however you want to say it. I got to say, to me, it's more like an EP, because the second side, Revelation, is just a jam. It just doesn't really go anywhere, and it goes on for about 18 minutes, 57 seconds. So that's that one. I think I've only sat through that track maybe about one time. So that's another example. What I want to hear, though, is from you guys. I know there's some Grateful Dead songs out there that are about 30, 40 minutes long, different versions. And I know there's other jam bands out there, another, like, just give me your overindulgent, mind-numbing jams in the comment section. I'm really curious to know what you pick and throw into the comments section. Let me know. As always, thanks for watching. We'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.